Hello, happy Thursday. This is Adrienne Grace, mindset and high performance coach. I help you bring in more business while working less and create a life that you love by changing your mindset and habits. And thank you all for those of you who are tuning in to my podcast series this week, The Millionaire Mindset. And I'm coming on here to answer the questions that I've received via text message, because everyone who signed up gets text messaging access to me all week. So I've been having a lot of fun answering people's questions and thought I would come on here because I always think that if one person has it, multiple people have it. So I think it's just good to answer them. So the last couple episodes, I've talked about basically reprogramming your mind, about how we have a lot of paradigms in our subconscious mind that are keeping us where we are. And I compare them to a governor on a car, right? They keep us operating at 40 miles an hour, even though we have infinite horsepower under the hood. And so if you have tried to do more in your life, and if you've tried to work harder to get where you want or whatever, but things just, you have more potential inside of you that you just haven't been able to bring out, it's because it's those paradigms that are keeping you stuck. And until you change those paradigms, then nothing in your life is going to change, unfortunately. And so it takes some work to be able to reprogram your subconscious mind. And we talked about self-image and about how we have a subconscious self-image inside of our minds that kind of acts like a thermostat. So one of the questions that I got a couple times was about self-image, and they wanted just like a couple quick and easy ways to change that subconscious self-image. So again, we don't really know what that subconscious self-image is, right? Because it's subconscious, but a great way to understand where it's set is to look at your outside results, because it's always a reflection on what's going on inside your mind. So your income is a great reflection, your relationships, just really anything that's going on outside is a reflection of where that image is set. So a couple things to create a better self-image. One is to write down a script of that highest version of yourself. So I have, for me, and this has been so powerful in my life, I have basically, and you don't have to go to this extent, but I have about like a 10-page document that it's how that highest version of me does everything, right? How I eat, how I sleep, how I talk to clients, how I talk to prospects, how I walk down the street, how I dress, how I do everything. And I actually have it on a recording and I listen to it every day. So that's one great way, right? Because then when you're faced with decisions, you can tap into that version of yourself. Like, okay, well, what would that version of Adrienne do? Okay. And you can do that with everything, right? If you're stuck on something with work, or if you're, again, just kind of like spinning your wheels on something that you're just not getting the results that you want, you can kind of tap into that frequency of who you want to be. So that's one great way to do it. Another great way, and I also really recommend everybody to buy and read the book Psycho-Cybernetics by Maxwell Maltz. That is a book that I have all my clients read and study as we work together on my mastermind, because it is a really powerful book. I basically could develop a whole coaching program on self-image. It's just one module in what I do, but it is really so important because you can never outperform your self-image. So anyway, so another way to change that self-image, and it's something that Maxwell Maltz talks about, is by doing a visualization, right? So actually it's like a meditation visualization type of thing. So you have to get into a really relaxed state, and he gives you some great ways to do that, but whatever way works for you, sit in a chair, really relax your mind, relax your body. That helps slow your brain waves down to alpha. And then your subconscious mind becomes more open and susceptible at that point. And then you basically visualize yourself, right? Or you could even think about like past experiences that maybe didn't go the way you wanted them to go, and you relive them in your head in a different way, in the way you wanted them to end. Okay. Or you can do something future based. So whichever way you want to go, but that is super powerful. Get yourself into that relaxed state and do the visualization of who you want to be. And that sends that image right into our subconscious mind. I got a lot of questions too around paradigms. So again, like I said, paradigms kind of act like that governor on a car. And so a lot of people are asking about like, how do they know what their paradigms are? And, how do you change them? And again, that's kind of the basis of the entire thing I work with my clients on is reprogramming our subconscious mind, changing those paradigms, changing the negative ones to plant new ones that we want. And so a big question everyone was asking about is, how do we know like our negative paradigms? Well, first of all, anything, you don't really need to dig for your paradigms, right? Because we want to actually just replace them with the positive ones. It doesn't really matter what the negative ones are, but you can tell what the negative ones are just based off of where you are in life. Okay. And if you've had certain struggles or certain things that you've tried to do that haven't worked. So if you've tried to earn more money and you haven't been able to, well, that just shows you that you have a paradigm and a self-image, right? Kind of stuck at one level. Or if you've tried to maybe back off from work and that doesn't really work for you, you just kind of keep diving right back in full force because you probably have a paradigm around like how much you need to work and worthiness if you're not working, and that you have to work really hard to earn money and things like that. So you just have to become super aware of your patterns, and then you can start to redirect them. And then we talked a lot about habits, and so I got questions around that too. And my thing about habits or even these paradigms, like we can't change on behavior alone. Behavior is very conscious mind oriented and it's very surface level, and that's why it typically doesn't stick, because you're just working out of that conscious mind and not at the deeper level where changes really need to be made. So, um, so in order to change a habit, not only do you have to do the physical activity, but you have to command yourself, right? And do auto suggestion. So think about for those of you who have children, um, or maybe you just remember as you were a kid, you have to tell your kids 100 times, thousands and thousands of times to brush your teeth before you go to bed, right? Until now, we all just do that automatically, hopefully. But think about how many times you had to ingrain that. I know even like my 9-year-old niece, my sister is constantly having to tell her that still at 9 years old. So think about how many times somebody had to affirm that in you until it became like lodged into your mind. So make sure that you have like an affirmation or a command that you're telling yourself and affirming to yourself as you're doing the physical activity, because you can't do it on behavior alone. Also, it really kind of goes into that identity layer, right? Can you tie your new identity with that habit? So and that's why I think working on your self-image is so important. So think about like if you want to get into better shape, then you want to be that person that, wakes up at 5 a.m. and goes to the gym no matter what. So that way, when you wake up at 5 a.m. and you're laying in bed and be like, oh, it's cold out. Do I want to go to the gym? Well, that tuned into that version of you. Well, that version of you is never going to skip it. So that's going to help motivate you to get up. And then just keep affirming to yourself, like, I wake up at 5 and take my body to the gym every day or something like that, and make it the more like catchy or rhythmic you can make it, the better, because that helps kind of lodge it into your mind more. So those were a lot of the questions that I got. Another question I received several times was about masterminding. So I talked in one of the episodes about expanding our influence, okay? And there's really two ways to do that. And one is through leadership, and the other is through masterminding. Now, masterminding is a concept that is really important, but a lot of people don't talk about so much. And in Napoleon Hill's book, Think and Grow Rich, he says that how imperative it is to mastermind. And he talks about how people like Andrew Carnegie didn't really know much about the steel business, but he brought together a mastermind of people that had the specialized knowledge that he needed to run that business. Same thing with Henry Ford. Henry Ford didn't really know much about building a combustible engine, but he gathered the people that he needed into that mastermind. So masterminding is really important because you don't have to know everything yourself. You can gather that specialized information from other people. And it's also really important to surround yourself with people that are at the level where you want to be, okay, or that can see you at that level. You've probably heard that quote, we are the sum total of the 5 people that we hang around with the most. Well, if you want to be, a wealthy, abundant millionaire who's living an amazing life, well, who are you surrounding yourself with? Are those the types of people that you are surrounding yourself with? And if not, well, that's why it is really important to have that mastermind. So you have that community of people that you can go to and ask questions to and bounce ideas off of. And it's why I even hold this mastermind and I coach in a group like that, right? It acts as a mastermind that we can all come together. We can see each other in that highest light, and just the energy of the group is awesome, and it holds everybody in a higher state. And I get so many texts and from people, and people will always say it on the calls like, oh, I didn't really feel like getting on today, but I'm so glad I did. I feel so much better after I was on this. Because when you're surrounding yourself with the energy of that, it is super impactful. And you really do feel it. And so even if you're having like a busy day or you're in kind of a rut, it has the ability to kind of alter your state instantly. And that is what this is all about, right? I like to think of myself as somebody who intersects the financial world and the kind of like energy world, right? Or more of like that spiritual side, which isn't very popular in the finance world, but it is important because it is affecting our results, right? And I think that part of my mission is to help bring that into the finance world, because without the awareness of it, it's hard to get to where you want to go. And once I started opening my eyes to it and learning more about how the mind works, and about how like manifestation and visualization works, it has changed my life so significantly. And that I think that it's really important, because wherever you are in your business, you can be doing 100 times better. And if you learn how to master the power of your mind, and I mean, you just basically become limitless. So you've gotten to where you are knowing what you know, but you don't know what you don't know. And that's what I want to help teach you. And so I think that it's super powerful. So I'm really excited because doors are opening for enrollment into my mastermind for 2023. And if you enroll now, there are a bunch of bonuses that you will get, including 2 free months. So for November and December, you'll get for free as we study and read the book Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill, because that is foundational to the program that I coach on. And it's a great way and a great base, because I have all my clients read it and study it anyway. And so this way we're doing it in an organized fashion together and getting that done. And especially just kind of during the holidays, during this end of the year, it's going to give you great momentum going into January when we start module 1 in January. So you can hit the ground running and you have more of a base and understanding of a lot of these concepts. So if you are interested in learning more about this, and if it is a good fit for you, please message me. And we can hop on a quick call and I can talk to you about, where you are now, where you want to be, and see if I can help you. Because this is a great opportunity to join at this point. Again, a lot of times people will say to me, oh, it's not the right time. And I just think that that's a funny excuse, because nothing changes until you change. Okay. It sounds pretty intuitive, right? But it's true. I mean, a lot of times I meet with somebody and they tell me, I do want to do it, but it's not the right time. And then I talk to them again 6 months down the road or 8 months down the road or a year down the road, and they're in exactly the same place. Okay. And nothing has changed. And so if you are looking for permanent changes in your life, you have to go to the root of where those problems are coming from, the root of all of your results, which is your mind. And once you understand that, things become easier. Everything in your life shifts. Our outer world is always a reflection of what's going on inside our minds. And so we're conditioned to always think that if there's a problem in the outside world, that we're going to change it on the outside, right? Like we don't like the way we look, right? We want to lose weight. And so we think going on a diet is going to help. Or we think that we have a problem in our relationship. So we think that if we, go to therapy or change partners, that's going to fix it. And it doesn't. Or if we move, we'll be happier. If we move firms, we'll be happier. If I get a new job, I'll be happier. If I get more money, I'll be happier. None of that is true. None of it is true. It all is within us. Okay. And I am, a perfect example of this because I tried to change things in my outer world for years and it didn't work. And I was spinning my wheels until I found this stuff and this material, and it's completely changed my life. Now I live a life that I am grateful for every single day. And I love helping people transform as well. So, so message me if you want to learn more about this mastermind. Would love to help you. Would love to help you get to that millionaire mindset and help show you how to really live that true abundant life and give you everything you ever wanted. Well, thanks for tuning in, and I will see you all soon.